to Slaughterhouse Stories. I hope you enjoy the story I have for you tonight. Someone must be home. As a child, my grandmother, Julie, would always tell me spooky stories. Most were obviously fake, but there is one that she insists is true, even to this day, as do the others involved. As a new mother of twins, Julie lived in her sister's basement in Queens, New York. She was still out of work, taking care of her newborn daughters, and would often spend her days in her makeshift apartment until someone, with the ability to speak, came home from work. One day, as she was putting the twins down for a nap, she heard the front door open. Someone must be home, she thought, but the door never closed. Puzzled, she climbed the creaky steps, careful not to wake her daughters. As she reached the top floor, she not only found the door closed tight, but locked and deadbolted from the inside. "Hello?" she called out, but there was no answer. She remained alone with the twins until her sister came home, hours later. The next day, around the same time, the door opened again, and this time she heard it close loudly. Someone definitely must be home this time, she thought, and called her sister's name up the stairs. No answer. A little unsettled, she climbed the steps once more, only to find the door locked and the house empty. This continued for days. Every day, around the same time, Julie would hear the door open and close, and as the days progressed, footsteps became audible. Day after day, they would get closer to the basement and eventually make it down the stairs into her makeshift apartment. But every day she would look and the house would be empty. She became more and more frightened as the days went by. Her sister, of course, did not believe her. After a week or so of this, she and her sister were with a few friends at the house. Julie brought up the incidents, stating that every day, around this time in fact, she would hear the door open and footsteps down the stairs to the basement. "Maybe it will happen today," she said, a little hopeful. She wanted to prove to her sister that something was happening. After a few minutes of silence, there was a crash, and what sounded like someone frantically running up the basement stairs and up to the second floor of the house. The startled women went running to see what had happened. But Julie's sister made it into the hallway first and screamed. They found her at the base of the stairs, trembling as she looked up at them. "Someone's in my room," she said, horrified. The police were called, but nothing was found. All doors were still locked, all windows closed. They couldn't even figure out what caused the crash. From there, the noises stopped, but growing up in the basement, the twins would sometimes smile and wave at invisible visitors, always around the same time of day. There's no reason to be afraid. When my sister Betsy and I were kids, our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favorite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother, because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some mornings, Betsy and I would wake up, and on each of our nightstands, we'd find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'd get thirsty during the night. She wanted to take care of us. Among the house's original furnishings was an antique wooden chair, which we kept against the back wall of the living room whenever we were preoccupied, watching TV or playing a game. Mother would inch that chair forward, across the room, towards us. Sometimes she'd manage to move it all the way to the center of the room. We always felt sad putting it back against the wall. Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we'd moved out, I found an old newspaper article about the farmhouse's original occupant, a widow. She'd murdered her 2 children by giving each of them a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she hanged herself. The article included a photo of the family's living room, with a woman's body hanging from a beam. Beneath her, knocked over, was that old wooden chair, placed exactly in the center of the room. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's story, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay spooky.